In this video, we will see how to solve this simple beam problem in ANSYS Workbench. Well, here we'll not be using ANSYS APDL. Here we'll be using the ANSYS Static Structural Analysis. So I have opened here the ANSYS Workbench. Here in the left side, you are having a toolbox, which I have different templates. Like here you are having a fluid flow, fluent, CFX, and IC engine fluent, and random vibrations. There are many standard templates given by the ANSYS and the turbo machinery fluent, and or you can also use the individual components and create your own templates, and you can use it on your own. But since this is a normal simple problem, I'm going to use the static structural, which I'm showing here. And before doing that, let us check the units. To check the units, here you'll see the units tab, and here I'm going to use the metric unit. And to check the unit system or to make your own unit system, go to units and click on unit systems. Here you can just create your own unit system, import or delete. But right now we are not going to do anything, and I'm using the metric. And here the metric units for the angle is radian, and everything, all the units are given here. And now we'll close. We can just check over there. And now I'm going to left click on the static structural from the given template, and I'm going to drag it in the project schematic, and this window is called the project schematic window. And I'm going to create a standalone system. You have to drag it over the highlighted area. Now you see, you can see. And now here this is the step-by-step procedure to be followed in the ANSYS workbench. Here in the engineering data, we will be specifying the material. But right now we are not going to specify any material, because since we'll not be looking for the deflection. If you're going to go for deflection, then you have to specify the material. By default, ANSYS has many different materials. You can just create them. By default, ANSYS has many materials which you can create and then apply to the geometry. By default, and engineering data will have only one material, that is called the structural steel, which I will be showing it. And now we'll directly go to the geometry. Here we need to model the geometry. Only then we can proceed for the analysis. And here you are having ANSYS provides us two methods to make the geometry using space claim and design model, or you can also import it. Now I'm going to use the design model geometry. And this design model is on the space claim are very much similar to other 3D modeling softwares. Let us look at it. And here you are having three different planes, and now I'm going to create a in the XY plane. And when you right click on it, you're having the option called look at, or here also you'll be having, just select the plane and then click on it. The normal view to the plane will be appearing. And now I'm in the modeling tab. I'll go to the sketching. First I'll draw a line. Here total beam length is 2.5 meters. And remember, I'll be checking the units over here, and here also it is in meter. Okay, now I'll go with the line. First I'll start from the origin. I'll zooming in. You can zoom in by right clicking and dragging the dragging it like this over the point where you want to zoom in. So I'm just going to draw horizontal line, one more and one more. And now I'll go to the dimensions, two dimension. I'll be using the general so that we can specify any dimension, horizontal, vertical, angle, everything. This one is h1, this one is h2, this one is h3, and here I'll be seeing the values of h1, h2 and h3. And here the h1, this is 1 meter, this is 0.5, and this one is 1 meter. So I'll just This one is 1, so I'll be giving the h1 as 1 meter, and this one is zero point 0.5, I'll be using it as zero point 0.5, and this one is again 1. Okay, and now we are done. And now we'll go to the modeling, and here in the XY plane you'll see a sketch. And now I'm going to create the lines from the sketch. Go to concept and then click on create lines from the sketch. And I'm going to select this sketch in the base option and then click on apply. And here you can see the line 1 has been created. And I'm going to right click on it and click on generate option. Now it has been generated. Here you can see the line body, but here you cannot see the cross section is not applied. And here actually for finding the shear force and the bending moment diagram, you don't need the cross section. If you want to find the deflection, usually we will also find the deflection, but here in the problem we are going to only do the shear force and bending moment diagram, but here we will also see how to get the deflection also in this software. So I'm going to assign this any cross section area. For deflection, cross section area and the material properties does matter. So I'm going to the concept and I'm going to create a cross section area. I'm going to create a rectangular cross section area. Uh, 0.05, that is 50 mm. I'm giving it in meters. Yeah, and now we are having the rectangular cross section area, but we need to assign it to it. When you click on this, when you expand this tree and when you select this line body, you can see that the cross section is not selected. So I'll just select this and select the rectangular one, which is the cross section I have made. And now you can see that you cannot see the cross section area still. To make sure that cross section is applied, go to view, and here you can see cross section solids. And now you can see a light window that will be like a transparent kind of thing, but still you can see the cross section area is assigned. And now we'll close this design modeler. And now geometry has been done. Now we'll go to the model and right, we'll double click on it. And now when you open this, you'll see as just a single line. I'm going to change the view, and because it's in 3D, so I'll just go to the display. And if you want the isometric, you can just click on it, but I need the front view. Now you can see. Now when you click on this cross section in the display tab, you can see the member. Now first you need to create the mesh. There are many different meshing options, but right now since the geometry is not complex, and I'm going to give the element size as 5 mm, and if you want less you can give, but it is going to take a lot of computational time, and but it still increases the accuracy. But for this simple problem, I think the program determined or the simple elemental size is enough. So I'm going to generate the mesh. And now you can see the mesh has been created. And now I'll go to the static structural here, and I'll right click and click on insert. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign the supports, and this is a simply supported beam. And here you can see that here the solution is also given, just to verify it. At point A this is the simply supported, and here at point B also it is supported. And from A to C, this is first 1 meter span, it is UDL of 2 kilonewton per meter, and here the moment is there at 2 kilonewton per meter. So first we'll be assigning the supports at point A and B. So this is our point A and this is our point B. Here, remember, here in the selection command, just make sure that the vertex is enabled. If the vertex is enabled, you will be able to select only the vertex, not the face. If the edge is selected, you'll be able to select only the edge, not the vertex. And similarly for the face, here the face is enabled, you'll be able to select only the face, and the body is selected, you'll be able to select only the body. Since I'm going to create the supports at the end points, that is at the edges, I'll make sure that the edges vertex is selected. So I'm going to right click on this insert, and I'm going to create a simply supported beam, and I'm going to apply these two using the control command, and then click on OK. See, if you are, but I'm going to assign it to individually because you cannot find the reaction for the each and everything for the both the things. So I'll just create another simply supported beam and select this point and OK. And now here we have assigned it as simply supported beam, but in order to make sure that it is properly assigned, when you try to solve this, see, when you try to solve, okay, it needs one or more forces. So first let us add the force. I'll show you why you cannot solve just by adding the simply supported support. First let us add the loads also, and I'm going to assign the line pressure. Line pressure is for what do you call, that is the UDL, and here already by default you cannot assign line pressure at the edges, so only the edge control command is selected. So I'll just select this one because only in the first 1 meter span 2 kilonewton per meter is assigned. So I'll just click on apply, and I'm going to, here you can define the values by either by components or by vector. I'll just define it by components, and I'm just going to add in the y direction. Since here they are given as 2 kilonewton per meter, that is 2000 divided by 1000, so it will be 2 newton per mm. So here the units is newton per mm, so I just add it as 2, and I'll give the minus sign direction so that it is acting downwards. Now and one more thing is that at point D, clockwise 2 kilonewton per meter moment is there. So we'll assign that one. So again right click over here, insert, and I'm going to assign the moment, and I'm going to select the edge. See, when you click on the mouse, yeah, I'll just be able to zoom in. I'll just find out, yeah, this is the point. Okay, and I'll just apply it over there, and the magnitude, and I'm going to assign it by the components here also, since it will rotate about the z axis. Let me show you over here, and this is x, this is x, this is y. So this is x and this is y, but here we are having one more axis called z, so it will tend to rotate about the z axis. So what I'm going to do is, about z axis I'm going to provide this moment. Here also 2 kilonewton per meter, but here in the answers it is newton mm. Actually the moment should be 2 kilonewton meter, so it will be not per meter, so it will be 2000 into 1000. Actually it's a printing mistake. 2 kilonewton meter bending moment formula is force into distance. Force is newton and distance is meter, so it will be kilonewton meter. So here kilo means into 1000 and meter means 1000, so it will be 2 into 10 to the power 6. So I'll just add 2 e to the power 6, and here you can see it is in the anti-clockwise direction, but the problem we are having in the clockwise direction. To change that, just go here and add the minus sign, and now you can see the direction has changed, and when you try to solve you can see it gives an error. See, it gives the warning pivot error. So, simply supported commands are not just enough for the answers. So, I'll just be adding simply supported means, but it has a tendency to rotate about the z-axis. X and y will be there, but it will be having the tendency to rotate about the z-axis. So, what I'll be doing is I'm going to add one more constraint, that is the boundary condition. So, I'm going to add the fixed rotation. So I'm going to select the geometry. So I'll just select this and here I'll apply, and I'm going to allow it to rotate about the z direction. Z. So x and y will be fixed, and one more I'm going to apply on this side. So one more fixed rotation. So about the z, I'm going to make it as free. Otherwise, bending moment will be there at the supports. And now I'm going to solve this. And you can see it has showed no errors. It has been solved. So I want the shear force and the bending moment diagram. Before that, I'll just right click on the solution, and here you can see the deformation. And I'm going to insert, and before and if you're not using this cross section area, that is how I have modeled this beam, you'll not be able to find the beam result as well as the beam tool. And in the beam tool, if you expand, you'll get the direct stress and minimum combined stress and maximum combined stress. And here in the let us go to the beam, and okay, sorry. Here I'll just go to the beam results. Here you'll find the axial as well as the bending moment, torsional moment, shear force, and the shear moment diagram. In the shear moment diagram, we'll just find how to, we'll get the bending moment diagram, shear force diagram, as well as the deflection. We'll just go to that later and can find the bending moment diagram over here. I'm going to insert the torsional movement will not be there for this one, and if you want you can find the shear force. So here it shows this like this symbol, and that shows that it has been solved but it has to be updated. So I'll just right click on this solution and then make sure evaluate all the results, so that it will show me all the results. You can see that the total deflection over here, and you can also animate it. You can just see how it, well actually this is not the total this much of deflection you cannot see, and here you can see in the results it is 85 times magnified. Truly it will be only this much deformation will be there, because you can see the maximum deformation is only 1.4741 mm. You can see the units over here. The true scale is, it will be magnified in order to just to it, and you can choose the magnification over here. Auto magnification will be there, and here you can see the axial force. Since this is not the stresses or anything like that, axial force will not be there, and you can find the bending moment over here and the shear force also. And here you can see the maximum minimum combined stress as well as the maximum combined stress. And I'll just click and insert I'll just insert beam tool, sorry, beam results and shear moment diagram. When you click on that, it will be asking for the path. We have not created any path. In order to create the path, we'll just go to the model, right click, insert construction geometry, and click on path over here, or go to the model tab, and here you'll be having the construction geometry and click on path. And here we'll not be using the 2 point because we are having the edge itself. So I'm going to select the edge, and before I'll make sure that the edge command is selected, and I'm going to use the control key to select all the uh, lines. And now it has been selected, and now you can see the construction geometry path has been created. Now I'll go and go to the total shear moment diagram, and I'll just choose the path which we have created. The path is called the path. We have given the name as path. And here I'll just yeah, and we'll just update the results. Yeah, and here you can see the shear. This is the first one is the shear force, and the second one is the bending moment diagram, which you are seeing in the green color line, and which you are going to see in the blue color line. This is the top bottommost graph is the displacement diagram. So I'll just go to the shear force diagram, and I'm going to change it to directional, and I'll just click on evaluate all the results so that it gets updated. Yeah, and now here you can see because here if you change it to directional, you can see the negative as well as the maximum value. And here you can see the graph from it goes minimum is minus 795 Newton at zero. That is the distance from vertical, sorry, the horizontal distance across the beam. At the starting point, minimum value is minus 795, and here it reaches the maximum value of 1200 and remains constant. Just check it over here, and yes, you can see there is a small error because of the meshing. You need to make sure that proper meshing is done, but still the results are almost accurate. You can see this is 1200 and this is 795, whereas here you got that is this is shown in kilonewton. This is that is 800 kilonewton and 1.2. This is accurate. That is 1200 Newton you're getting, and here you're getting 800, but in the software we are getting as 795. But still it is almost close enough, but not so much variations. And here we'll go to the bending moment diagram. Here it is 0.16. Here you can see the point. It raises from the minimum to maximum over here. Here also you can see from zero point 0.8 to 1.2. This is in kilonewton meter. Okay, so it will show that, yeah, minus 8. So if you convert this one from 8, this is kilonewton meter. So 1.2 into 1000 into 1000. So you'll get 1.2 into 10 to the power 6 and zero point 0.8 into 10 to the power 6. So here, yeah, you can see that is, yeah, here you see minus, okay, 8 into 10 to the power 5, 1.2 into 10 to the power 6. Yeah, because I have told zero point 0.8 into 10 to the power 6 or 8 into 10 to the power 5. It is the accurate result. You can see, and the deflection will also be same. And I'll just show you one more thing. I'll just show you how to find the reactions. I'll just go to the probe, and I'll just go to the force reactions. And here I'm going to choose the this one is the simply supported at this point, and this one is the support at this point. So I'm going to change, I'm going to choose any one of the value, and I'm going to evaluate the results. And here you can see in the y-axis, in the z and x-axis, it is 0, and the minimum value is also shown. It is total is 12,000, sorry, 1200. Yeah, I can see from the shear force diagram at this point it is 1200. And I'll just change it from this point to this point, or you can just create one more force reaction. Go to the probe and force reaction, and I'll just check it to this one. Yeah, and now I'll just evaluate the results. Yeah, and here you can see it is 800. Yeah, here it shows, here it is zero point 0.8 kilonewton, but it is 800, but it shows the same value. But here in the shear force and the bending moment diagram, it shows minus 795, but that is okay, because it is almost 5 Newton, does not matter. So almost close. And thank you for watching my video. Please do like and subscribe my channel for more videos like this, and comment below for any suggestions. Thank you.